Top 10 Gemstones Experts. No longer recommend buying. They were once admired, sought after by collectors, featured in auction houses, and praised in gemological journals. Not because they were trendy, but because at one point they met the standard. But markets evolve. Technology reveals what eyes alone cannot, and quiet reports begin to circulate. This one fades, that one fractures, another was never what buyers thought it was. Today, top gem experts maintain private lists of stones they no longer recommend, not for wear, not for trade, and certainly not for investment. Some are too fragile, some are synthetic in disguise, and others were never supposed to be in the conversation to begin with. This film brings those names forward, for the first time, in public. Let us know which one resonates with you in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Ranked 10th, Mystic Quartz. Created to be misunderstood. Under showroom lights, it flashes with violets, greens, and golden fire, a kaleidoscope that suggests rarity. But no natural process created that shimmer. Mystic Quartz is not a distinct gemstone variety. It's clear quartz, one of Earth's most common minerals, enhanced through a thin film coating process developed in industrial optics, not geology. The treatment involves vaporizing titanium or niobium in a vacuum chamber, then depositing the metallic film onto the stone's surface. The result is iridescence, not from within the crystal, but from surface interference. This coating is measured in microns. It scratches easily. It fades with time. It cannot be repolished without stripping away the very effect that made it marketable. There is no record of mystic quartz in gemological databases. It's absent from GIA classifications, gem guide pricing sheets, and global auction catalogs. What it has instead is a paper trail, one that begins not in mines or museums, but in late-night television. In the 1990s, American home shopping networks introduced it as a mystical energy gem with shifting colors. On-screen, the lighting was optimized. Off-screen, the disclosures were minimal. Consumers saw beauty, few understood fabrication. The name stuck, but it never crossed into the domain of professional gemology. Today, Mystic Quartz circulates through online marketplaces, pop-up mineral expos, and souvenir stalls, but not through gem trade shows. It's absent from Baselworld, from Tucson's Fine Gem Pavilion, from any dealer carrying GIA certification. Experts refer to it not as a gemstone, but as a surface illusion. The problem isn't that it exists. The problem is that most buyers are unaware of what it is. Listings on e-commerce platforms often claim to be from Brazil-only mines or assign metaphysical properties, such as chakra alignment and emotional balancing. These claims are neither scientific nor regulated. Mystic Quartz can still be sold, typically for $60 to $150, but its resale value is virtually nil. No investor, collector, or gem lab will accept it for appraisal. It offers no rarity, no structural durability, and no mineralogical uniqueness. It isn't illegal, but in the professional world, it is irrelevant. And that is why in 2025, Mystic Quartz is no longer recommended by any reputable gem expert, trader, or certifying body. Ranked 9th. Opalite, the gemstone that was never a gem. It's smooth to the touch, semi-translucent. Under warm light, it glows with a bluish haze that shifts ever so slightly. The visual that draws the eye, and then the wallet. But for all its presence in crystal shops, chakra sets, and online marketplaces, one fact remains constant across every expert catalog. Opalite is not a gemstone, it's glass. There is no mining source for it, no crystal habit, no inclusion structure, no mineralogical identity recognized by any gemological institution. Opalite is a fully synthetic material, typically composed of silica, soda ash, and trace metallic oxides, melted and cooled in industrial furnaces. It is made, not found. Originally, the term opalite referred to low-grade natural opal, but that ended decades ago. Today's opalite is commercial glass, created to simulate the look of moonstone or milky opal. It is not regulated. It is not appropriately disclosed. And most crucially, it is not identified as synthetic in the majority of retail transactions where it's sold. On metaphysical blogs and product listings, it carries elaborate descriptions. Emotion stabilizer, third eye enhancer, stone of transitions. These claims are never reviewed and never tested, and it was never challenged because the product itself had been framed to appear harmless. What makes opalite problematic is not its toxicity or fraud in the criminal sense, but rather the erosion of definitions. It is marketed as a crystal, labeled as a stone, and grouped with amethyst, quartz, and tourmaline. Buyers who enter this space without mineralogical education often assume they are purchasing something rare or even natural. They're not. Opalite cannot be appraised. It holds no resale value. It has never been traded at auction, and no professional gemologist would include it in a valuation report, except to clarify that it is not a gemstone at all. Despite this, it floods the market. In gift shops, crystal subscription boxes, and online platforms with no disclosure laws. It continues to sell under names it doesn't deserve, including ice opal, sea opal, and white moonstone. This isn't a story of a stone that fell out of favor. This is a case of a manufactured object that was never intended to be part of the conversation in the first place. By 2025, among gem experts, there will be no further debate. Opalite is not undervalued, it is not controversial, it is excluded. Ranked 8th, blue topaz. When color was too easy, the blue is striking, saturated, luminous, dependable. It appears in rings, pendants, and bracelets across every price tier. From shopping malls to boutique showcases, blue topaz is everywhere. But behind the color lies a truth that gem experts have long accepted and now refuse to ignore. It was never rare, never scarce, and never stable in value. Topaz in its natural state is often colorless. Some forms carry golden or pinkish hues, but genuine blue topaz, naturally occurring and gem quality, is virtually non-existent. What the market offers instead is treated topaz, explicit material subjected to industrial irradiation, then heat-treated to achieve one of three commercial shades: sky blue, Swiss blue, or London blue. This process isn't illegal, nor is it hidden from laboratories, but in retail, the disclosure is inconsistent at best. Many sellers label their stones as natural blue topaz, even though the blue color is entirely artificial, induced by controlled exposure to electron beams or nuclear reactors. In some cases, the stones are required by law to be quarantined after treatment due to residual radioactivity, a fact rarely shared with the end consumer. Technically, the result is stable. The color won't fade. The crystal structure remains intact, but the implications go beyond physics. When any mineral can be modified in bulk to produce vibrant color, the market adjusts, and in the case of blue topaz, it collapsed. By the early 2000s, the gemstone trade was saturated. Cutters in Bangkok were faceting topaz by the kilo. Jewelers began using it as a placeholder, a way to sell blue color without the price tag of sapphire or aquamarine. And investors? They walked away. Today, blue topaz holds no position in auction houses. It does not carry any premium tiers in its price sheets. Most gemological appraisals assign it minimal value, sometimes less than the labor cost to set it. It's not because it's flawed, not because it's deceptive, but because it's predictable. Predictable in color, predictable in cost, predictable in how little it changes over time. Blue topaz still sells. It still adorns jewelry. It still finds a market among casual buyers. But among experts, it's no longer considered a gemstone worth recommending. Not for collecting, not for holding, and certainly not for investing. Not everything that sparkles is undervalued. Sometimes it's just overproduced. Rank 7, Lepidolite, the stone that was never meant to shine. It's soft in color, gentle in tone, a lilac shimmer, often cut into polished pebbles, set into costume pendants, or scattered across spiritual altars. Lepidolite looks like it belongs in the world of gemstones, until you touch it. Then it flakes, cracks, falls apart under stress. Lepidolite is a lithium mica, layered, fragile, and industrial by nature. It forms in pegmatites, typically alongside other lithium-bearing minerals, such as spodumene or petalite. For geologists and industrial chemists, it holds value as one of the planet's minor sources of lithium extraction. But for the jewelry world, in gemology, it was never meant to be anything more. With a hardness of 2.5 to 3 on the Mohs scale, lepidolite can't survive normal wear. It cleaves in sheets. It cannot be factored. Even cabochon cuts degrade quickly under light contact. Yet despite its fragility, lepidolite was rebranded, not by scientists, but by spiritual retailers. Throughout the 2000s, 10s, and 2020s, it became a common feature in emotional healing crystal kits. It was marketed as calming, dream-enhancing, energetically gentle. Descriptions referred to it as a stone of peace or a dream stabilizer, terms without scientific foundation. And because it was cheap, easy to carve, and visually appealing, lepidolite became one of the most widely sold non-gem minerals in the online spiritual economy. But here's what never happened. No gemological lab issued clarity grading for it. No major auction house accepted it. No serious collector assigned it a value. Not because of belief, but because of the structure. Lepidolite fails every basic standard required to classify a mineral as a gemstone. It lacks durability. It has no internal brilliance. It cannot hold a cut. It has no market transparency or pricing mechanism. It exists, but it doesn't hold. And for gemologists, that's the difference between what's pretty and what's professional. By 2025, lepidolite will remain common in spiritual commerce, but it has been formally excluded from gemstone catalogs, investor guides, and professional valuation databases. It was never blocked. It simply never belonged. Ranked 6th Dioptase, too beautiful to use. Its color alone can mislead even trained eyes. An emerald green so rich, so saturated, that for a moment it reads as valuable. Its crystals form in perfect transparency. Its surfaces reflect light with a brilliance most silicates don't approach. But for gemologists, the beauty of Dioptase is not the beginning of anything. It's the end. Dioptase is a copper silicate, hydrated, brittle, and formed under narrow chemical conditions. It grows in oxidized copper deposits, most famously in Namibia, Kazakhstan, and the Congo. Its structure is trigonal, its color is natural, and its fragility is non-negotiable. With a Mohs hardness of 5 and a fracture pattern more suited to museum shelves than gem benches, Dioptase resists nearly every function required of a gemstone. It shatters during faceting. It cleaves under pressure. Even polishing carries risk. Those rare cuts that survive rarely make it past the setting process. And yet, for decades, enthusiasts tried. Early mineral collectors, captivated by its emerald-like hue, attempted small jewelry experiments. Some cabochons reached commercial catalogs. Others appeared in spiritual crystal markets, promoted as stones of emotional release. But the results were predictable: cracking, disintegration, and disappearance. The truth is clear. Dioptase was never meant to be worn. There is no trade pricing index for it, no demand in auctions, no place for it in the gemstone investment ecosystem. What it has is admiration, not transaction. It holds a place in curated mineral collections, in micro-mount cabinets, in high-resolution photography archives, but not in valuation reports, not in gemstone certification labs, and certainly not in serious jewelry portfolios. In the world of fine minerals, dioptase is a masterwork of nature's chemistry. In the world of gems, it's a failed experiment. By 2025, no professional gemologist will recommend it, not because it deceives, but because it doesn't last. Ranked 5th. Zoisite, the family that never left the quarry. The name suggests prestige. Zoisite is often associated in the minds of many with tanzanite, one of the most commercially successful gemstones of the 20th century. But tanzanite is a geological outlier. The rest of the zoisite group never entered the gem market, and by 2025, they will have been formally left behind. Zoisite is a calcium-aluminum silicate mineral found in regional metamorphic environments. Its chemical stability and crystal system allow for the development of several varieties: green, pink, yellow, and gray. But only one variety discovered in Tanzania and subjected to controlled heating becomes the transparent violet-blue stone known globally as Tanzanite. The others are not transformed and not transformable. Take Andalusite, a green zoisite rock embedded with low-grade ruby crystals. It is often marketed as natural ruby zoisite, though the ruby is rarely gem quality, and the zoisite itself is opaque, fractured, and inconsistent. Andalusite lacks cohesion, visually and structurally. It is cut for novelty, not performance. Most specimens are best left uncut, but they are carved anyway, cabbed into amulets, and labeled with terms like high-vibration stone in metaphysical markets. Then there is thulite, the manganese-rich pink variant. It is soft, chalky, and uneven in tone. It breaks under the wheel. It has no transparency, no brilliance, no fire, only muted aesthetic appeal. Like soapstone, it's carved, not faceted. And like soapstone, it has no standing in gemological systems. There are no auction records for these materials, no valuation indices, no inclusion in the Rappaport price matrix, no interest from collectors outside of regional folk art or the metaphysical resale market. Even the rarest of the group, yellow zoisite, failed to generate commercial attention. Its optical properties are limited, its hardness is inconsistent, and its occurrence is too rare to standardize, too unstable to promote. Ultimately, gemologists do not dismiss these stones for their lack of beauty. They remove them due to a lack of qualification. They fail the minimum tests of gemstone viability. No structural integrity for cutting, no optical value, no pricing mechanism, no demonstrated or sustainable market demand. Tanzanite's success created a shadow, and within that shadow, other zoisites were mistaken for candidates. They were not. By 2025, no professional valuation guide, collector's report, or gem investment advisor will include them. They're not failures, they're simply outside the category. Ranked fourth, Chrysoberyl. The gem that didn't fade, but disappeared. It is harder than spinel, more stable than zircon. Unlike most tourmalines, it does not require treatment. By all technical measures, Chrysoberyl should be a leading gemstone. However, by 2025, outside of alexandrite, it no longer holds a place on most expert buy lists. The mineral is straightforward. Beryllium aluminum oxide. Hardness, 8.5 on the Mohs scale. Refractive index, high enough for excellent brilliance. And yet, golden and green chrysoberyls, once traded in fine jewelry, now move slowly, quietly, and mostly at wholesale shows or collector tables. Why? Because the gem world rewards more than performance. It rewards story, rarity, visual character, and most of all, momentum. Chrysoberyl had its peak. In the early 20th century, cat's eye varieties were respected, even prized. Their chatoyancy, the narrow beam of light that rolls across the surface, made them distinct, but not rare, and not irreplaceable. Then came alexandrite. Then came the branding machine behind tanzanite. Then the rediscovery of spinel. Then the lab-grown revolution, and Chrysoberyl, the standard bearer without spectacle, quietly lost ground. It wasn't outclassed, it was outmarketed. Color change was king. Saturation was king. Instagram appeal, king. Today, common chrysoberyl is too plain to compete and too obscure to inspire. Its yellow-green color palette, while pure, lacks emotional resonance with most buyers. Its trade volume is low. Its resale activity is even lower. And most contemporary designers have stopped using it altogether. Gemological institutions still grade it. Certification labs still identify it. But expert valuation guides rarely include it in future-facing recommendations. Not because it's flawed, but because it no longer moves. By 2025, common chrysoberyl remains what it always was, a competent stone. But in a market driven by experience, perception, and momentum, competence is no longer enough. And so it exists, not in scandal or collapse, but through silence. Ranked third, Andalusite, a physics gem that never sold. From a mineralogical perspective, it offers something rare, true pleochroism. In a single, uncoated, untreated crystal, Andalusite reveals green, orange, and reddish-brown simultaneously, depending on the angle of observation. To gemologists, it's a lesson in the science of polarized light. To physicists, a demonstration of crystallographic anisotropy. But in the commercial gemstone world, it never found a reason to stay. Andalusite belongs to a polymorphic trio, along with kyanite and sillimanite, all of which share the same chemical formula but differ in their atomic structure. Of the three, only Andalusite possesses both clarity and hardness sufficient for faceting. It is neither soft nor unstable. Its hardness ranges from 6.5 to 7.5. Its structure is consistent. It takes polish. But it doesn't sell. The problem is not in what it is. It's in what it fails to do. Andalusite's colors are subdued, featuring olive, rust, and bronze, with flashes of gold visible under correct lighting. It's not vibrant. It's not luminous. Its most impressive feature, pleochroism, is a technical term. It requires understanding to appreciate, and even then, it only presents itself fully in select orientations, with specialized cutting. That cutting is costly, yield is low, brilliance is limited, and unlike tourmaline or zircon, which come in saturated hues, Andalusite competes on nuance, a difficult sell in an industry that thrives on clarity and color intensity. Designers rarely request it. Retailers rarely stock it. Even among gem collectors, it is categorized more as a teaching specimen than an aesthetic centerpiece. There is no auction market for Andalusite, no celebrity endorsements, no investment reports or price charts. Its value holds but does not grow. By 2025, most professional advisors had removed it from their recommendation lists entirely, not because it's dangerous or deceptive or declining, but because it never crossed the line between laboratory admiration and market function. It remains in reference sets, geology classrooms, and occasionally in small batch artisan jewelry. But in terms of commercial gemstones, those that move, that hold, that circulate, Andalusite has exited the conversation. It didn't fail. It wasn't chosen. Ranked second, Red Beryl, the investment that locked itself away. It's rarer than an emerald, rarer than ruby. Some estimates place it among the rarest gem-quality minerals on Earth, and for a time, Red Beryl seemed destined to become the next major asset in colored stones. But in 2025, it stands still. Too rare to buy, too expensive to move, and too unstable to recommend. Red Beryl, sometimes known as bixbyite, is a manganese-colored member of the Beryl family, forming in Topaz rhyolite under particular geochemical conditions. It's only been found in one location capable of producing faceable crystals, the Wah Wah Mountains of Utah. That mine is no longer producing. The numbers are impressive, but misleading. Yes, it is rarer than a diamond. Yes, it has hardness and brilliance. However, the truth is that almost none of it ever reached the jewelry market. The vast majority of crystals are microscopic, heavily included, or mechanically flawed. What little exists is tightly held in private collections, museums, or speculative safes. When pieces appear at auction, they generate headlines. But between auctions, they generate nothing at all. Then came the synthetics. Lab-grown red beryl, chemically and optically identical to natural red beryl, began appearing in the global gem trade without disclosure. Unlike synthetic emerald, there is no widespread consumer education for red beryl. And unlike synthetic sapphire, there is no retail demand to offset confusion. As a result, the market froze. Buyers hesitated, sellers held back, and appraisers stopped assigning confident values. Not because the stone failed, but because the ecosystem around it collapsed. Today, red beryl is not in crisis. It is in isolation. Valuable, yes. Beautiful, certainly. But tradable? Professional gemologists do not deny its rarity. But in 2025, few will recommend buying it, unless the purpose is static display. It is not liquid, it is not scalable, and in many cases, it is not even available. The dream of a new ultra-premium gemstone category stalled, and red beryl, for all its geological significance, became what collectors now call unreachable inventory. Present, priced, but permanently still. In first place, Kunzite, revered by history, rejected by time. Its name honors a pioneer, George Frederick Kunz, the mineralogist who shaped Tiffany and Company's gemstone strategy in the early 20th century. Its color, a delicate lilac pink, once captivated royal circles and American aristocracy alike. But in the modern gemstone trade, Kunzite is no longer recommended by experts. The reason lies not in the trend, but in the structure. Kunzite is the pink to violet variety of spodumene, a lithium-aluminum inosilicate found in granitic pegmatites. Its color is due to trace manganese, but its identity is defined by its sensitivity. The mineral is inherently tenebrescent. Under prolonged exposure to sunlight or heat, its vibrant color fades, sometimes slowly, sometimes irreversibly. This instability is not anecdotal. It is measurable, repeatable, and universally acknowledged across gemological institutions. No coating, no treatment, no setting can entirely prevent it. Even without fading, kunzite remains fragile. Its cleavage, perfect in two directions, makes it vulnerable to splitting under normal wear and tear. Jewelers classify it as a bench risk. Appraisers flag it as unstable, and auction houses restrict it to occasional, non-featured lots. For decades, collectors and designers gave it the benefit of the doubt, mesmerized by its soft hue, its association with American gemology, and its presence in historical collections. But benefits of the doubt do not sustain markets. And over time, kunzite proved itself more ornamental than enduring. It is neither rare nor scarce. It is not a case of overproduction or synthetic competition. It is a case of unmet expectation, beauty that cannot be trusted to last. In 2025, kunzite is no longer considered appropriate for daily wear jewelry. No longer seen in high-turnover collections, no longer listed in expert buying guides outside of legacy or academic contexts. The mineral still glows under UV light. It still holds a place in gemology textbooks. But in the active world of gemstone investment, it has been placed gently but firmly outside the field. Not because it failed, but because, over time, it revealed what it could not do. Some were once worn by royalty. Scientists introduced others, praised in the early pages of gemology. But none of that guarantees relevance. A stone may be beautiful, it may be rare, but if it can't survive time, light, or scrutiny, it won't survive the market. At Tops, we don't collect trends. We track what holds. And more importantly, what doesn't. Let us know which one resonates with you in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this.